Again, jiggity jig. Okay, so I'm back. It's Saturday. Wow, what a week it's been. I need this sip of the galaxy more than you know. How is everyone? Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo, transformational astrology. And you know, it's more than just astrology. It's about conscious awareness. It's about your spirituality. It's about your inner power being activated. Let's get your mojo back. So, what a week I'm having. I think that was Eugene Levy in Splash. What a week I'm having. Okay, so we thought we'd get the carpets and the rugs cleaned and the couch. We know somebody in town who does an organic thing. And it was really fun to be able to reconnect with them because it's been a while. That's why we decided to get it done. So what we didn't realize was the time-intensive part of actually emptying out our offices. And then we thought, well, while everything's emptied out, why not clean everything and rearrange the furniture and feng shui and da-da-da. And then it was, we can't sit on anything because even though it's an organic solution, it was only 2 hours, 3 hours before things started to dry and we could put things back together. And then it was, well, we don't need this extra little couch. Why not? Oh, there's that mosquito. I'm looking. There's been a mosquito in my office biting me, and I just captured him. No, not really. Would it be that simple? I don't know. So it was disarray. So by the time we could get everything back together, hello. Now we're in the full moon of Aries, and we're heading into a Mercury in retrograde. And today we're going to be talking about, who remembers? Raise your hand. Saturn in the houses. We're going to finish up with house 5, 9, and 11. 2 succedent fixed houses and 1 mutable house. So we will be talking about that. But first, with the Mercury in retrograde, we're in the pre-phase already. So things are just crazy loopy. On top of the rug cleaning and things being disassembled and then the dog not sleeping and then me not sleeping and then, okay, we're back. I do want to actually put on my reading glasses so I can see you. I want to see you fine people. But it's been wacky already with the technology because suddenly things will just cut out. So if my video cuts out, bear with me, hang tight. I will do my best to come back as quickly as possible. Okay, I just want to say hello and thank you to Prague, to Taiwan, Romania, and Hungary. Thanks for joining Astrology Mojo. Okay, so who's here? Come say hello to me. Now, sometimes in the chat room recently, like the past week, people are typing and I see nothing. I see absolutely nothing. So please forgive if I'm not responding. But if I do post something, you know what? Let me just post something. Hi, come say hello to me. There, see, there you are. Now I see you. Shelby's here. Brittany's here. Oh, what's going on? I don't understand. You know what? Before we even get started with Saturn, I just feel the need to pull a happy card. Hi, Christine is here too, who has Saturn in the 5th house. Now we're going to talk about Saturn transits in Capricorn. So if you know what your chart looks like, you'll know where Capricorn is in your world. And here's the Capricorn symbol, just in case. That's kind of weird. What is that about? Oh, okay. So there's Saturn. That's actually the Saturn symbol. So wherever you see Saturn, and do I have a Capricorn symbol? Let me show, you know what? Let me just, where is the Capricorn symbol? Oh my gosh. I think I forgot to put one in. Welcome to the retrograde, where my head is somewhere else. Okay. So, anyway, if you know where it is, you have a natal Saturn whatever that is in. It could be in Aries or Gemini or whatever, or Capricorn. Now, Saturn is in Capricorn until March of 2020, and it usually stays in a sign for about 2.5 years. And because it's more of an outer planet. Okay. So what we're looking at is the transit through your chart, through the house that is guided by Capricorn. Did that come out in English? Okay. Thank you. Thanks for bearing with me. Yay, I'm back. Hello. You missed me. Thank you. I want to say hello to all my fans. Thank you. I missed being here. This gets me focused, believe it or not. Well, now my office is just pristine. It's so lovely. Everything in its place except on my desk. Papers all over that I'm sorting through. And, you know, when you have to deal with paperwork, you know what that's like. Okay, so let's just start with a happy card. Okay, let's just... Calling in all my angels, starseed, love from around the universe. Nathaniel is one of my monadic structure selves. Archangel Nathaniel. Some pronounce it Nathaniel, but I was told it's Nathaniel. So today for Saturn, transiting direct through houses 5, 9, and 11. That's what we'll be talking about. But these cards right now are just for us. Even if you're watching in a replay, I trust that you're seeing this at the time that you need to see it the most. That's how energy works. What do we need right now? Let's just ask, what power can we access through gratitude, through observance, through concentration? What do we need right now? That's what I want to know. That's what I need right now. And we have, almost dropped them. Who else is here? Come say hi. Oh, I think we pulled this one the other day too. Vibration. And we can see the universe in that vibration. The vibration that you put out into the world is going to start to fluctuate rapidly when planets go in and out of retrograde. That's what happens. So we just came out of a Saturn retrograde. We're moving into a Mercury retrograde. So there might be some blah, blah, blah. And plus we're in a full moon, Aries full moon. Enjoy the spontaneity of being up all night like I was last night and saying, oh, you know what? I don't want to vacuum because it's 2 a.m., but I need to clean something. And okay, awesome. Authenticity. Authenticity is the second card I pulled just to get us started. Authenticity. And, you know, something about authenticity resonates with me a lot today because it has so much to do with knowing who you are, being who you are, expressing who you are without causing harm to yourself or others. All right, so be that. Be that. Have the courage to be that because you are that. Shelby says, Saturn in transit on cusp of 3rd and 4th. Feeling it in the 4th. Natal Saturn in Aries. Well, this full moon is really going to amp that energy up too. Somebody got some sleep. Wasn't me. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk about Saturn transiting the 5th house. Now, just a little bit of definition. The 5th house in astrology deals with fun, children, procreation, even grandkids, and especially with Saturn in the 5th house, that could possibly mean, in the next 6 months, you could become a grandparent, or you're dealing with your grandkids more, if you have any. The 5th house is also about the romance, definite romance, but problem solving, creativity, risk taking. In the general charts, it's guided by Leo, so there's an energy to the 5th house, and it's also a fixed succedent house, which literally means that it follows the preceding house, the cue and the clue from the preceding house. So the preceding house is the fourth house. So if you've got stuff going on in the fourth house and Saturn is transiting your fifth house, we're going to see a lot of activity that has to do with sobriety, of romance. Like, why are you in this relationship? Or why are you not in any relationship? Because it's about being very real. Now, Saturn vibe can be very sobering, yes, but also the disciplinarian. And you might say, well, in the past, I've just, went head over heels for the first schmo who walked through the door. And now I'm not going to do that. Now I have scruples. Now I have standards. Now I'm just going to, let me see that resume. And have you had an AIDS test? That's what Saturn would say at a party. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So Saturn in the fifth house is not the funnest of energies. And remember, Saturn is now coupled with Pluto. So if you are newly married or thinking of having a child, this is not a cautionary tale, but it is one to say Saturn transiting the fifth house is if you've been trying and it's not working, it's okay. Saturn is not doing anything to you. Oh, did I not do like those of you who know me know that I say the planets don't make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that, they mirror that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. Is it time for wealth, health, passion, purpose, or a combination? Okay, so when Saturn is transiting the fifth house, and if you are looking to spice up the romance, some things need to be cleared out first. Okay, some stability issues is what I'm getting. And, it takes a lot of maturity to have an advanced relationship, a conscious relationship. So a lot of times we enter into a relationship or a love relationship, a marriage. That's more the seventh house, but this is like the romance, right? Or the creative project. It may not be about a relationship. It could be about a creative project or just feeling that sense of, I want to create I want to give birth to something artistic, license, artistic brilliance. And then it takes hard work. Saturn represents hard work and responsibility and maturity. So if you've not yet finished something that you started long ago, and if it has to do with a child, maybe you were on the outs, maybe you got divorced and you don't have a great relationship with your child, or maybe you do have the great relationship, but your child is now expressing to know their other parent and it's causing you some anxiety, or the project that you're working on might be such that it is just going on, and you have to keep going, and you're just like, when is it over? It just feels like a burden. So with Pluto there, it's about cutting ties to the ideology. No matter where Saturn and Pluto are transiting, yeah, it's about getting rid of that sense of, and this is for anyone with Saturn anywhere at any time. Responsibility simply means the ability to respond. So check your responses. If you're in a relationship with someone who, it's been drudgery for a while and you really want to infuse that, or it's the end and you're like, nah, we got to have the conversation. Yeah. That's the ability to respond to what is happening in the now, the truth. And if the now is every moment, in the past 10 years, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, it's like Eat, Pray, Love, right? I watched that the other night at 1 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. Eat, Pray, Love. It's really finding what you're afraid of. What's the fear about the creation, about the connection, about not getting your needs met? That's something to really look at with Saturn transiting the fifth house, although it does feel sobering. And some people or clients that I know who've had a Saturn with Pluto now, it's a double indemnity clause in your insurance policy. What is it? It feels like a miscarriage for some people. It feels like a miscarriage of justice. a miscarriage physically in the body because of conception not working and the body's not ready, or it feels like something didn't make it in the relationship, and now you're reviewing the core. That's what Pluto's about. Saturn's in harmony with Pluto right now, and they're working on the same team. They're rolling up their sleeves. Not really. And it's part of you that's saying, I need to clear the dust and the cobwebs out of my mind and body before I attract the same thing, before I commit to the same thing. Now, previous projects that you might have started when Saturn was retrograde, now you've got the green light, you've got the go ahead, and it's nobody bother me, don't interrupt me. I'm going to finish that painting. I am going to, write that song. I'm going to take the kids to a new school. We have something serious and very stalwart. It's the word I get. Stoic. Okay. Happily ever after. I love the movie Enchanted, by the way. How do I know he loves me? Right? So the romance factor is dampened when Saturn transits the fifth house. I have to come back to the romance because this is the time to explore fulfillment, not expect it, not have a fantasy around it. Okay, it's not a Disney movie with Saturn transiting the fifth house. Unless you go back 20, 30 years when all the parents died, and all the kids were left on their own. Then that's an early Disney Saturn kind of theme. But, the risk also, if you are single and a single parent, the risk of wanting stability so bad that you will just pick anyone just to have, at least we got money, at least we have stability, at least we have, because it's not just about security, and it's not just about the getting lost in Austin, one of my favorite shows, Lost in Austin, okay? Because I'm such a Jane Austen fan, for those of you who don't know. One day I will go and I will visit in full garb and I will find my woman. She will be there. But in England, the movie Lost in Austin, it was a series, a British BBC show, like a episodic. And this modern day woman is just like had it with her beer drinking boyfriend. And Saturn in the fifth, and also Neptune in the fifth. And she is reading Jane Austen. And she just wants Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy, please enter my life. And then through the bathroom, there's a little cupboard, and she actually enters Jane Austen's world and meets Mr. Darcy. So I've watched it like 15 times. Okay. Propriety. Yes, it's okay to indulge your fantasies and romance, but keep a sober eye on mutual goals and expression. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. Now, if you were born with Saturn in the fifth house, it's like that. You might need to use art, a certain type of creative expression to work through your issues that you had as a child. Check your fourth house. What's in your fourth house? It takes patience and maturity, really, toward unity with children, with projects, with lovers, and your ultimate ideal expression. Oh, Christine says, it is my natal Saturn. Okay, so it didn't always feel good in a relationship romantically. And parenting felt like a burden. And but there is such a relationship to the child that you overdid. People with Saturn born natally, people who have natal Saturn in their chart, means they were born with it, means that you take on way too much responsibility for the child or the partnership or the relationship or the project, and then it almost disables them. So you need to step back and let other people grow. That's, all I'm saying. And let's see, we have other things. Hello, dear. Deborah's here. Hello. Deep breaths all around. Now we're moving on to Saturn transiting the ninth house. I'm running over. I'm blabbing. We're in a full moon, aren't we? In Aries. The ninth house represents the law, travel, intellectual pursuits. It is a mutable house. And so the meaning is more motivation through intellectual pursuits. And that is higher education, legal contracts, if not actual law stuff. You know, you might be an attorney. If you were born with Saturn in the ninth house, especially, you know, you're rising to the top through the industries, brick and mortar industries. But anyway, it has to do, the ninth house deals with philosophy, travel, foreign matters, and contracts, publishing, advertising, having an active interest in the public and their welfare, usually through education or legal means. Oh, I just love the stars in my cup. Okay. Success, Saturn transiting the ninth house. Now, if it's just moved out of the eighth house where you felt like you couldn't stop sweating because everybody wanted money from you and the debt factor was high. But remember, the planets aren't doing it to you. It was something you had to mature through and grow through. Saturn represents your maturity, discipline, and also your ability to connect with your karma. Saturn is a karmic planet, as is Neptune. And when Saturn is transiting your ninth house, you can reach a higher level of consciousness with very strategic focus so that you can embrace that karma. And the karma is not good or bad. It can mean, perhaps you were a very fair-minded person previously, 6 months ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 300 years ago, but you never really stood up for the masses. You never really went the distance. Now that Saturn is transiting the ninth house, you're oh so ready. It's like, the sleeves come up. You're like looking around. All right, who needs help? What's the problem? You're going to take on a whole new Power Rangers at the ready. So also with Saturn, there's a lot of intellectual gifts and linguistic abilities. So you might be dealing with international business partners, or you might be traveling for business. You're a very generous person, born with Saturn in the ninth house, but Saturn transiting, now you're really looking to share those gifts and talents. And it might be that you're an attorney and you understand, and you're divorced now. You just might have gone through a divorce with Saturn transiting the eighth house and the seventh house. And now you're thinking, all right, I'm going to pick a populace for my clientele, not just pro bono. I will help them at a smaller fee, less of a fee, because there are women who, are going through a divorce and they don't know what to do. It can be something like that, where you are now taking the reins, the responsibility for a group that needs your expertise. So, you want to reach for broader experiences, because sometimes the Saturn energy is, all right, this is what it looks like and this is what I'm being told. I'll just wait till my number's called before I raise my hand and tell them that I know more than the person behind the counter. Now you're like, oh no, Saturn's transiting your ninth house? Yeah, it's, okay, here's what I know. Attorney, doctor, judge, DMV. Okay, by the way, Saturn transiting your ninth house reminds me of a notification that's been in the works across America. And that is by 2020, October of 2020, it is going to be imperative that you go to the DMV and get upgraded for the real ID. Okay, does this smack of Nazism or police state martial law. I don't know. It feels so like, okay, my license is going to have a little holographic star or a yellow star on it, and that's going to tell people at the TSA that I am not a terrorist. Have we come to this? Has it come to this? Okay, so just remember to go to the DMV and upgrade your license, folks, or you'll have to travel with your passport or 3 forms of identity. Under 18, doesn't matter. You don't need anything except an adult. But, okay, sidebar. So who else is here? Come say hello to me. We are talking about, this is the final segment of Saturn transiting now direct through all the houses. And we are talking about house 5, 9, and 11 today. If you're listening to this in a replay, I trust that this is finding you at the moment that you need this information the most. And okay, back to Saturn in the 9th. Also, for some, especially if you have a very ambitious nature, you need to be aware of overreaching or overstepping with Saturn in the 9th house, transiting the 9th house, where you're now it's like the flip side because Pluto is there and it might be like, I wasted my time. I had an idea. They stole it from me. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to stand up and be counted, but you do it at the expense of others. So you do need to be careful that your ambition is not leading you by the nose. Okay. Now what are some clues to those extremes? Well, if you have no boundaries and you're doing everything everybody wants you to do, at work or for the sake of the cause, and it's harming you, okay? And the other extreme, please listen, because there's somebody out there who you might know someone or you might touch on this. The pseudo-intellectual part comes out. Morally righteous, especially with in-laws or the law. The word law comes to mind in big ways. Or too much time seeking renegotiation or reparations in court. Because your Saturn just came out of the 8th house, you might be on a mission. Okay, I'm just playing with the cards. I'm mixing them up. I'm playing. What do I pull? Vibration, yet again. Folks, what is the vibration you feel with Saturn? Saturn is the part of you. Okay, Saturn just represents the part of you that is disciplined, that is moral, that is responsible, that feels the need to serve, but not at the sake of the self. Okay? Please. So with Saturn transiting the 9th house, embody your most generous self. Have those boundaries. Take on that cause. Go forward with publishing or with getting to know your industry, whatever you're doing. And if you're looking to do bigger business and it's been kind of tough, then this is a really great time to talk to others, reach out to elders and mentors. Okay, Saturn represents the wise one, the mentor. So if you are not that mentor, then seek out the mentor who can help you advance in your career or give you some really great legal or financial advice. Okay. All right, let's move on to Saturn. Any questions on this? Because, on Monday I'll be back. Okay, so here, Monday, pause is the goodwill version of all the donations go to the Humane Society. So pause is coming to pick up a small old couch of ours on Monday. They say 9:30, but I know better. I'm supposed to be talking at 10 a.m. on Monday. The doorbell might be ringing at 5 to 10. So I'm going to do my best to be on time on Monday, but please stick around. We're going to be talking about the Mercury in retrograde. We're already in the pre-phase and the spin has begun. Oh, hey, what is that stone on your necklace? Sorry, I'm going off topic. That's okay. Apropos to retrograde. This is rhodochrosite. I don't know how much closer I can get. Rhodochrosite. And this is a crystal with liquid from a healing spring in Geneva. And I speak to it every day and I charge it and I protect myself. Okay. So, Saturn in house 11. So yes, please come back on Monday. But again, the time may fluctuate because I am expecting, and my husband will be out of town, and I am expecting Pause to come and pick up an old couch from my garage. Okay. So, well, the 11th house deals with, it's how you personally identify through groups, clubs, memberships, associations, associates, your friends, and your any kind of social contacts, also children to whom you feel, with whom you, for whom. Where is Jane Austen? I must channel her. Elizabeth, please. Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy, my elocution. For whom you feel responsible. The 11th house might have to do with children for whom you feel responsible. And but ultimately it's about your dreams coming true. Yeah. So how would you like your dreams to come true now with groups? Saturn transiting the 10th house. This tells me very clearly, the 11th house, this tells me very clearly, you are now deemed the elder, the wise one in the group. So any groups you join, watch that need to be the one where you are solving everybody's problems because it helps you to feel needed. Okay, yeah, do that, but also turn and look for the elder who can help you. This is definitely about an elder. And it can mean, with Pluto there, it can mean you have a grandparent or a great-grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, an elder in the family or the clan, a clan member who is ready to leave, sadly. But also not sadly, if they are ready to go, it will come to your attention. For those of you who are listening, this is not going to apply to every single person, but Saturn transiting your 11th house, depending on your sun, rising, and moon sign, if someone is leaving your life in the grand scale, in the grand scheme, and they're going off planet, then that's when you are handed the baton to take on something, a role perhaps, or a way of seeing through their eyes. You know, it's as if someone might say, oh, remember Granny? And she grew up with a coal stove and and remembers when the roads were being built and electricity was put into the house. And so when you think about what that person endured, now you have a greater respect and understanding for what's in front of you and how you can get your needs met. Through hard work, absolutely. Through groups, though. This is about the group. And when you and the group feel like you are one, it's got to support you. Now, because the 11th house is a succedent house, meaning in the general charts, it deals with, succedent means it follows the previous. So whatever's in your 10th house going on right now or natally is really going to push you into the 11th house. It's really going to be predominant about perhaps retiring, leaving your career, leaving a group, ending a friendship, or beginning a friendship with someone who's older. Or perhaps you're the older one and you have a relationship now that can mature. It's almost like Harold and Maude. Who remembers? One of my favorite movies, Harold and Maude. If you want to be free, be free. Okay, so there she is teaching this young, eccentric, random boy, not to give it away if you haven't seen it, but I highly recommend it, teaching him how to feel, how to see, how to think, and they have a love affair of the heart. And she's, 80? And he's 20? 5, 2, 1, please, Harold and Maude, it's a must. Saturn in the 11th house depicts a relationship to yourself, to the group, to an elder, or to someone who looks up to you as the elder. Now, you're an excellent manager, and just remember to do your own business as well, and also rely on the group, not just be the go-to person, but have them also give you some support and feedback. I'm just getting something very strong about the 11th house with Saturn and Pluto transiting the 11th house. All right, there's a big ending coming for you. And that ending is not so much sad. It's like at the end of The Lord of the Rings, also one of my favorite movies. The end of, when Frodo doesn't tell his buddies that he's leaving to go with the fairies and Gandalf. And, they all go to say goodbye at the boat, and they're leaving. I'm going to cry. And he turns and says, okay, now, and he gives Sam the book and says, you finish it. I'm getting the chills. For somebody listening to this, you are just being handed the keys to the castle. And it feels lonely. At the same time, it feels like so appropriate and so right. Like you're ready. You're ready to be the elder. You're ready to be the clan-wise member. Go, be that. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Now, the impact that you have on society, for some other people, it feels like you're gonna get that fundraiser going. You're gonna organize that group for the kids. Maybe it's an after-school group, or maybe it's for a specific type of child who's undergoing healing, or perhaps it can be like a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing, or it can be a local club or society that needs assistance for their members, and you're the go-to person. So that's pretty awesome. All right, we're not too far over. Let me just check in with folks. Sage gives me some hearts. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm going to pull some more cards. So that's Saturn transiting through the 11th house. Now, we covered all of Saturn's direct transits. Okay. How long did that take? Let me count. I don't know. Weeks. No, it took a little over a week. But so I want to move into the Mercury in retrograde starting on Monday. Again, remember, thank you for joining me today, by the way. And so you can go on and have a beautiful Saturday and weekend. I just want you to focus on, I'll just pick one more card. It doesn't matter how these are mixed. There's no real reverse except what I read into the cards. And these cards, by the way, these are the Universal Law of Conscious Creation cards that are not for sale anywhere. And it's by Lara Solara, Dana DePoint, and Marlene Chapman. And my husband either bought them or they were gifted to him at an event many, many years ago. And he gave them to me, and he said, 2008. Okay, so we're going to talk about how the past comes back in Mercury in retrograde. But when I do my happy cards, I like to focus on what the collective group needs right now. I mean, I personally have Saturn transiting through my 12th house and about to be right on top of my ascendant. So I am undergoing a huge transformation, so huge that it's a cellular level transformation. And so that when I come to these groups and to my lovely attendees and people who are participating, I thank you so much. I'm so grateful, really, that you're here. Please spread the word. Let people know I'm here Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. until the clocks change, and then it won't be that much different because we don't change our clocks here in Arizona. All right, and I wanted to, let me find the link. That's not it. Where is I have so many things open on my screen. Okay, if you don't know where Saturn is transiting in your chart, you'll get a natal chart with the link I'm about to give you. And then you can see on the legend what Capricorn looks like, and just you can estimate where Saturn is transiting, also where Pluto is transiting. So let me just copy this and put this in here. Ba-ba-da-ba. All right, there's that. And then also we're starting to really amp up the videos to my YouTube channel, which we have neglected for so long. And if you subscribe, you click the little bell, and then you'll be notified of new content, which we're going to upload this weekend about the rest of the Saturn. So please do, and share the love. Let others know. All right, so happy card that I'm calling in for everyone listening, even if it's in a replay, what you need to help you. Calling in angels, starseed, benevolent beings, my fairies, my angels, my light workers, and all the energies. What's anybody going to do this weekend? Anybody have anything fun to do in this full moon? Thank you. A bit confused on transits. Okay, so let me show you before we even get into, I'm so sorry, I should have done this up top. I have Laura Dern's chart, the actress Laura Dern. And you can see, I have this on a replay. So you can see that the inner wheel is the wheel she was born with. That's her natal chart. That doesn't change. Although there are progressions, that's a completely different thing. But that's her natal chart, Laura Dern's natal chart. The wheel on the outside is where the planets are right now in the heavens on top of her natal chart. That's what a transit is called. So we can see that Mars is in Libra, and it's about to conjunct her Mars at 29 degrees of Libra. And the sun is moving toward Mars. Her sun is moving toward, as we move through October and November, her sun is going to conjunct Neptune. Man, she might be up for an award. She's got a big charity. I mean, there's like a whole lot that can be happening in her chart. Jupiter's in her 10th house. You see, so the outer wheel represents the planets right now on top of your natal chart and the energies that they bring up in you. Again, they're not doing it. It's time. That it's a timely fashion. Astrology tells you what time it is, so that if Saturn is now direct, let's look for Laura Dern. Where is Saturn in her chart? Okay, it's in her 11th house. Everything I was just talking about. She might have a grandmother who's passing away, or a grandfather. She might be grandfathered into a group or an association or society. She might be welcomed into a group for kids, or she might be fostering that. She might be teaching acting to high schoolers. You know what I mean? So Saturn in her, and it's right next to Pluto. It looks like, yay, with the circle. That's Pluto. So that's what a transit looks like. And in your chart, it will look completely different. And so when you look at, that's why I'm talking about these things. And we were attempting to put together a transit offering for you guys, but Dean has to go out of town. Some wonderful things are happening for him and his business. He's got some major clients, global clients. They're flying him out all over. First, he had to go to the southeast, and now he's going over to the northwest. Anyway, so he's my tech guy. So we haven't been able to put something together. But do know this, that I'm here to talk to you about what's happening in the heavens, okay? And Rhonda asks, is this how your chart always appear for anyone to see their own? I don't understand the question. But yeah, so if you want to clarify that while I'm still here, I'm just going to pull a happy card. So when you look at your natal chart, it is one wheel with fixed planets. And then the transits are what's happening right now in the heavens on top of your natal chart. So people will say, I don't know what happened. Mars transited my 6th house, and suddenly, I got pulled over and I got a ticket. And I said, well, it's not the planet that did it. Perhaps you were speeding and you're not aware. That, you need to protect yourself, by going slower and protect everyone else and the community. So the houses in astrology have a lot to do with every aspect of your life, and so do the planets, and then the signs that they are in. So it's a whole combination. I'm working on my master class, my Astro master class, and it is a very intensive amazing program that we're hoping to launch sometime in December. So stick around. And the top part of the chart is the here and now. The natal charts do not always appear that way. Do yours if we get our chart from your site? The top part of the chart is the here and now. The whole chart of your natal chart is what your natal chart is. I still don't understand the question. The top part of the chart is the here and now. In a natal chart, it's your natal chart. It's not the here and now. It's the here and now of the moment of your birth. A transit is wherever the planets are in your chart. I hope that answers your question. All right, so I'm going to pull a card, and you can send questions to me if you're confused about something to support@astrologymojo.com, and either Dean or I will be happy. Give us a few days, though, to get to those questions. It's not meant for free readings, but if you have questions about astrology or clarity on your chart, please do ask. Okay, so calling in light workers, angels, fairies, all the energies of happiness. What do we bring? Inspiration and reciprocity. Okay, so reciprocity. We've pulled this card before. Saturn and Pluto have this energy in us. We are the parts. They are the parts of us that feel like when we give, we should get back. And that is not true reciprocity. Reciprocity is when you give out of compassion, not obligation. If you give out of obligation, okay, it might be you promise someone something and you give something, okay, fine. Then it's done. But if you give to someone, if I give something to you, and then suddenly you think, well, I got to give back, that's obligation. Or, hey, I gave to them, they should be giving back to me. That's expectation. And that will always create a disappointment. So reciprocity, really, the law of reciprocity is that when you give in the universe to someone, to animals, to plants, to people, of yourself, really, it's about creating a harmony of energies, because reciprocity is the law of receiving and giving through allowing. I allow myself to get as much as I give. I allow myself to have as much as they have. Okay? So reciprocity is more about feeling appreciation for what you have, who you are, and what others can give to you without expectation that they owe you or that you owe them. Okay? So let's remove reciprocity, the old definition of, hey, I gave to them, I want back. No. Or oh my gosh, they gave me a gift, I have to give them something back right away. No. Take it in. You allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to give without expectation or, dictating terms. And the second card is very beautiful, inspiration. This is a really pretty card. I have to watch the parameters. Is that focus? I don't know if that's focused. Looks like a diamond, a spiraling diamond. Inspiration is the part of you that knows when you have something amazing to share. I would call it pure conscious love. That's what inspiration is. It's what your spirit is. You hear body, mind, spirit. Great. Body, mind, spirit. Fantastic. What does that mean? Your inspiration comes through your spirit. Your mind maps it out and the body acts it out or enacts it. Okay. So your inspiration is gotten through finding joy in the little moments and then sharing those moments. Who can do that consistently? Raise your hand. It's hard sometimes, right? We're tired, we're hungry, we're healing from an illness, we're spent, we're done. We see what's on the news. We're like, I don't want to be part of this world, but I don't want to leave it. Okay. Inspiration comes when you give yourself the time to experience joy. Then your pure conscious love shines and sparkles like the universe behind me. What I want you to imagine, I'm just gazing at the card. What I want you to imagine with inspiration is if you, there's autumn in parts of the world now, or spring in parts of the world, and big billowy clouds. If you can sit outside, lie outside on a bench or a chair or a lounge chair, whatever, look up at the sky. And when you see those big billowy clouds that are moving, I want you to project your anger, your fear, your worry onto the cloud. Let the cloud take it, and within minutes, it will transform. It will change shape. Done. Thank you, nature. Thank you, universe. Now, fill that space with something fun, something happy. So, Rhonda, transits do not show on a natal chart. You have to specifically look for transits or have a program. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question. All right. All right, folks, be happy, be lovely. Oh my gosh. We went 50 minutes today. I'm trying to keep it to 30 because we all are busy people. And thank you for showing up, and thank you for being here. I'll be back on Monday. Well, we hope it's 10 a.m. Pacific, Arizona. We'll see. It might be a little bit later, but bear with me because we are donating a couch, and they're coming to pick it up. Okay. Have a beautiful weekend. Be present in this full moon of Aries, and if you're awake, be awake. Be happy about it and go watch Harold and Maude. Okay. I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you, my lovelies. Be sparkly.